serious can a party take such a situation? The fact that it's even stated in the letter that the leadership has duly noted and regrets its withdrawal and will make sure that all the issues that have been raised are dealt with. People will make their own conclusions, draw their own conclusions. People will make their own speculations. People have their own interests in in politics. But I think we should stick to what the leadership of the party has committed to do.
Has the party made any efforts to bring to book those who carried out or who perpetrated the violence?
I mean, the disciplinary committee is working on it.
They're working on it.
You don't judge people before all the issues are dealt with.
Well, is it not the same committee that, gave us a release right after the Super Delegates Conference, inviting some people to the committee, including Kennedy Japan?
I mean, you are mixing the issues.
I'm saying that.
Yes.
Is it not the same committee that heard people speak, the comments they made, and based on that
they were about it?
I'm not sure if it was the...
There's an elections committee.
So the election committee...
There's a disciplinary committee. So one of the few committees that are stipulated in our constitution.
Which committee were they invited to? Election committee?
So elections committee has issues to deal with the processes of the election.
Okay.
But some of the issues of violence and all that would definitely be taken to the disciplinary committee. So some of the issues that were even referred to the elections committee have been referred to the disciplinary committee.
So they are working on it.
Yes.
So those who were invited to the election, they were invited to the election committee.
Yes.
Right.
Election committee. Well, the issues were referred to the elections committee, and by virtue of their mandate, they can deal with disciplinary issues. So those issues have been referred to the disciplinary committee. That's why in the letter, this is stated that the elections committee and the disciplinary committee have initiated comprehensive investigations into all reported incidents of violations and infractions that were alleged to have happened. So until the disciplinary committee report and the elections committee report come out, we can't be drawing any conclusions.
So how difficult is it to identify persons who carried out the dastardly acts in the Northeast region, to be specific? How difficult is that?
The gentleman who was affected said it's known. The one who is accused that he was you see, when processes are left to individuals to manage, I think we also need to abide by those rules and regulations. The Electoral Commission at the various levels were mandated to do. So they set up the voting, the polling centers and all that to manage the process. When you think someone is doing something untoward in the process, it's not up to you to physically stop the person. So this gentleman who got hurt is alleged to have stopped someone from casting their vote, and the person also reacted. But until the disciplinary committee, they go before the disciplinary committee and they go into the real issues, we can all be speculating at this point. So until we just have to be patient to wait for the report to come out. And it's also been stated that the report will be made readily available to all persons. So I think we should leave it. I mean, people will say what they want to say. People will say what they want to say. But let's wait for the report to come out. Then we can have a more informed discussion.
Beatrice.
Good morning to you, Annie, and good morning to your viewers. I realize you read two stories, and I would want to deal with both. I'll start with that of Alan Tremontin and then address the second issue that Dr. Bawumia seems to have raised. They are not really content. They were just some bragging that he was doing, and I'll address that. The events leading to the Super Delegates Congress or Conference of the MPP and then to what they hope to have on November 4th. It's at best a dent on our democratic credentials. It shows you how low the NPP as a party has sunk, that the NPP is an example of what parties should not be. And sometimes they think that is an internal affair, so people should not speak. Excuse me to say, it is not an internal affair.
It's a public.
Because political parties are vehicle to governing the entire nation. And when these things started happening in the NPP, many people in society kept quiet. The greatest, I don't want to use the word curse, but for want of a better expression, the greatest adversity that any nation could face is to have a president like Nana Addo. And I say this so painfully. You know, as far back in 2015, when the likes of Afoko, Kwabena Japon, and Sami Krab disagreed with the manner in which Nana Addo was managing the party, he sacked them. Literally, he sacked them. Elected officials, having been elected by the highest decision-making body, he didn't like them and he sacked them. And that's a matter of public record. He took the same view. He came to power. He didn't like the Electoral Commissioner, and so she had to leave. The militant statement and very unguarded...
But with all those with all those activities or events that took place, they went through processes.
Which processes?
To make a point.
Which
why
processes?
They thought that the Electoral Commissioner, the chairperson for the Electoral
You think we don't have a reason to let Nana Addo leave office? You think the young people of Ghana
so
today...
you can also initiate the processes. Can't you do that? Yeah.
We will, and that will bring me to my second topic. But it shows you that that man is not tolerant. The attributes of who a leader is, he doesn't have. And so when he started that militia and dictatorship rule in his party, we kept quiet. And then he extended it and institutionalized vigilantism in the country. And I've heard, for me, I have no sympathies for Alan Tremantin. Because it's a beneficial...
How did he institutionalize vigilantism?
The invisible forces and Delta forces were given places in the national security. And so they went beating people, including judges. That is that is something in the public.
But it's the same person
I was on the show.
Initiated the disbandment of vigilante groups.
Yeah,
which
after he has employed them into the institutions. So the rest will disband you. But the people we work with, the invisible and Delta forces, we've employed them into the institutions. So they have permanent job. And you saw what happened in the Ayawaso. At least there is a report to show that that arm was an illegal arm to be created within the service. I am saying that I have no sympathies for Mr. Alan Tremantin. So when he asks the question, how did we get here? Mr. Alan Tremantin, we got here because when your party was perpetuating violence, when your party was undermining every democratic gains we have made as a country, you kept quiet, you were a beneficiary of the system, and now the character of the NPP is no respect for human rights, no respect for rules and regulations, and no respect for their own internal rules and regulations. Some of the vetting committee members and some of the leading members who are supposed to be part of this election, they are already declaring for Dr. Bawumia. And so when he says that, how did we get here? That's how we got here. How far is the NPP willing to go to impose a precedent on Ghana? As he asks in his release, they are prepared to go to any extent. Even if it means that 8 people would die for the president to be president, they are prepared to go. What did he say? When 8 young lives were lost because somebody wanted to be president of this country, he even accepted ministerial appointments out of that. So when your own people have sat, perpetuated so much illegality, having benefited, now that the cabal has turned around against you, you want our sympathies. It's just sad that a man like that, having lived his life, having, dedicated his life to the party, having worked hard for the party, will be bamboozled the way he's been bamboozled. But he is part of that establishment that has no respect for human rights, has no respect for internal rules and structures. And so he should not be complaining. And the reason for all these things that Alan Tremantin is suffering is because a certain establishment wants Bawumia to be the president. And you know, it is just Nanado who wants a third term in office that wants someone he can easily control, someone who without anything being funny can be laughing. So he wants someone he can easily control. And so Dr. Bawumia...
How did you know that?
Oh, because I watched videos.
Which videos did you watch that gave you that impression? That he wants someone he wants to control.
If he cannot control him, he should come and dispute that. He wants someone he can easily control. Because he was the vice president, he assigned duties to him. When the president assigns duties to him, will he say he will not do? Would he not be at the control of the president as a vice president?
But a couple of times you've also heard the vice president say he has his own vision.
He has his own vision for the country. That's where I'm coming out.
He may be vice president, but he wants to do his own thing as a leader, as the president.
And I'll address that. You see, in any serious jurisdiction, and even if we were in places where leaders had conscience, and men understood the enormous responsibilities on them as leaders, someone like Dr. Bawumia, in good conscience, with respect to the people of Ghana, should not even sleep and conceive an idea of being a vice president again.
Right.
Not to even talk of wanting to be president. Because you see, when you do that, you are insulting the sensibility of the people you are leading. And his greatest motivation for that is that he believes as a Northerner, and that is the story he read. And as a Northerner, he would chip away the votes of the NDC in the Zongos and in the North. And so that is why the NDC is afraid of him, and he will give us a showdown. That's the story he read. And I've watched that video. I think, Dr. Bawumia, genuinely, we must begin to examine and ask very important questions. Because sometimes the way he speaks, if you don't take care, you ask some questions that you shouldn't ask. What is Dr. Bawumia?
So by mentioning Northerners and the Muslim
Zongo
communities, did that rub off as religious comments or ethnocentric comments?
I will not even address it from that religious campaign, because you see, he has a religious identity crisis. He does not know whether he's a Muslim, he's a Methodist, or he's called Timothy.
He knows.
He knows.
Yes.
So when did he stop being a Methodist?
Muslim. He's always visited churches as a Muslim.
He said Jesus Christ is the only savior. When he visited the churches. And I think that what Muslims believe is that Jesus Christ is a prophet. That's their belief, not that he's a savior.
Yes.
That's what, yes, is a prophet. Yeah. Yes. So, and you see, this should not even be a religious matter. But Dr. Bawumia is the only Muslim leader who has proven that he doesn't even have his own people at heart. So the argument that even the Muslim communities will vote for him and the Zongo communities will vote for him is a lie. Let me show you. A Christian president and a Christian vice president under the NDC built the only Islamic training college we have in Ghana, Al Farouk Training College in Wenchi. What is Dr. Bawumia's achievement for the people of the Zongo community? It was a Christian president and a Christian vice president that instituted the Islamic unit of education in our educational sector. What is his achievement? Dr. Bawumia is so concerned about pleasing the Christian community that when a young girl was prevented from fasting in Wesley Girls as a Muslim, he kept quiet. He never issued a word. It was President John Mahama that urged the institutions to respect people's religious rights. There was a time in this country where a group of young women, my friends, embarked on a hijab campaign. that as young Muslims, we should be allowed to wear the hijab. They were alone, supported by other Muslims. Dr. Bawumia never uttered a word. What did he say? If you know what he said, show me. So even in the Muslim community, he hasn't done anything for them. He has no passion to develop the Muslim community. In fact, he's more concerned about pleasing the Christian community. So when he gets to a Methodist church, he will say, oh, as a young person, I remember I was a Methodist. He gets to an Anglican church. He said, oh, some time ago, I was even called Timothy. This is a man who has no principle. He cannot even stand by what he believes in. And he says what? He wants to give who a showdown. Now, the question we will ask ourselves is, what is Dr. Bawumia's scorecard? Under his leadership, we have the worst inflation in our country. We have the worst unemployment rate. We have the worst level of poverty, the worst standard of living. Every serious macroeconomic indicator is showing that our country is at a place that for 40 years we've never been there. So the new vision, he wants to take us back to pre-colonial times or what? He simply has no vision. Because, Annie, let me ask you, the role of every leader and president, as well as the political party, is to make the lives of people better than they came to meet it. Admittedly, you will not be able to do everything, but certainly you must be seen to be doing something with the hope that when you are given another opportunity, you can do better. And let me ask you, what is Dr. Bawumia's record in health? The Agenda 111 that they promised us, under him, it has failed woefully, not even one. And I challenge them, anybody to mention one hospital. The people of La, my own people, and anytime I watch the people of La, my sister was born in that polyclinic. You went and you collapsed that hospital. Today, the people of La are even without a polyclinic. You have no record. The people of Shama, as we speak, there is some earthquake or some blasting in Shama where people have lost their lives. The hospital that these injured people could have been transferred to, that in 2020 they went to cut sword, that place is a bush, habited by snakes. So what is his record? Really and truly, what is his record? He is only hoping that he would campaign on the basis of religious and tribal lines. But he should know that.
But that hospital is still there, right?
Which hospital? They never built any hospital. They only went to do pap and pageantry to commission. They have not even cleared the land. The place is still a bushy area. The shame of it. So the people of Ghana will not vote for a Nordna, and the people in the Zongo communities and the north will not vote for Dr. Bawumia because it's a Nordna. They will vote for him on the basis of the development and his achievement. They will vote for him on the basis of our suffering. Today, as we said, it's a very sad story. The story of many young people. Take a ride, and in the evening, go to Kotoka International Airport.
So if you're watching
Terminal 3.
The screen, I think what's being shown is a Shama explosion.
Yeah.
The quarry site explosion, just in case you're
These people who are injured, what hospitals will they be taken to? The duty of a government. And I say that, you see, the story of the 2024 election is a story that should inspire many young people, because I always use myself as an example. As a young girl growing up in 2008, being a first-time voter, I listened to the various arguments on television and radio. I wanted to make a choice as to which political party to vote for. And I proudly voted for the NDC. You know why? Elections have consequences. So when we voted for the NDC in 2008, it bet the UGMC. It bet the Rich Phase 2. It bet the Maritime Hospital. It bet the BOG Hospital. It bet the Afari Hospital. It bet the Dodowa Hospital. In my own community, it bet the Nungwa Polyclinic. And so elections have consequences. The question we should be asking is that after 2016, what have we bet from that election? And so Dr. Bawumia, if I were him,
he should stop moving around and sit in his office and work. Because as we sit here, I mean, having 1,000 cedis in Ghana is like having 100 cedis. You buy fuel, you enter a shop, your money is missing. And what is the average pay rate? At a point, inflation was about 50%. Are we in Zimbabwe? What is happening? A nation that was once recognized as a gateway to Africa, you have come to manage the nation so much. And then you say that because I'm from the north, I'll make inroads in the Zongos, I'll make inroads in the north, and so that's why they are afraid of me. You think the people of the northern regions, I mean the 5 northern regions, don't reason? You think they vote for people on the basis of tribalism, on the basis of religion? They look at, if you are a Christian and you advance their interests, you will give them the schools, the hospitals, the roads, you make their lives better, they will vote for you. And the people of the northern region have demonstrated that in the past. They voted for Jerry Rawlings, who is a Christian. They've voted for President Mills, they voted for John Mahama, they voted for Nanado. They were all Christians. And so let nobody tickle himself and laugh that as much as I am a failure, as much as I am performing in the most shambolic manner, some way, somehow, the needs of my people will come to an end and they will vote for me. It's just a shame. And I think that henceforth, his manager should script him. Because this kind of divisive statements, we don't need it in times of economic crisis as we have.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that you've made some points.
No, it's just interesting, and
I'll just give you about 2 minutes.
Sure. The moral audacity of Beatrice this morning is quite interesting, to sit here and talk about violence. That's why I always tell her that I think when she's coming on set, she should be able to update herself on the happenings of her party, so that when she's talking, she gauges her own issues. Beatrice is sitting here as a youth of NDC, so technically she's a member of the youth wing of the NDC, and also a member of the women's wing, if we may put it that way, by virtue of her gender. Annie, on 10th December 2022, the youth and women in NDC were going to elect their leaders. A little over 1,800 delegates. Police declared 16 wanted. I don't know whether they've been able to get them. And we're thinking that if they were a responsible party, as she wants the MPP to be, by now they would have accompanied those 16 youth to the police. But I mean, that is not like them. She's talking about people being intimidated. He's talking about people. What happened with Swedio declaration? Well, how did her own Madame Frances leave the NDC? They virtually beat people at their congresses, so and get them out. Their own founder's wife set up her party. So when it comes to violence, misconduct, indiscipline in politics, she needs to check their history before she comes to sit here and espouse what she's saying. 16, just Youth and Women's Congress, 16. Our own Margot had to run away from the center. You can ask her. She ran away from there.
She says hi.
Oh, hi to her. She ran away from there. You know, so when she's talking about violence and all that, but you see, fear can make a person say things they don't even have any idea about it. It was just interesting listening to Chris. Now she's confirmed their fear for Dr. Bawumia. Honey, she's talking about people imposing what? We're here when they were all over the place. She was spokesperson for, a deputy spokesperson for their flag bearer now. When they were saying presumptive candidates, when they were going for an election.
You mean John?
They were talking about presumptive candidates and all that. It was like nobody was. What did they do to Dr. Dufour and his team? But today, Beatrice thinks someone wants to get. When we finish, Beatrice, we can have a very nice conversation. We can have a very nice conversation if you give me my space.
Then don't
Thank
ask
you.
the question.
When we ended our special delegates conference, what happened? As a responsible party, the statements were released by the General Secretary. And all those who were alleged to have committed one issue or the other referred to the appropriate committees. That is how a responsible party operates. It was on this set. Gabriela was sitting here when we were discussing the issue of the woman who went spraying money at their event. It was on this set that we got to know that the executive committee is now going to call them. What happened to it? So when we come here, what happened to her? What have they done? If the 16 young are still on the run, police is still looking for some of them. She was punished. She was punished. What did they do to her?
She was suspended.
What did they do to her, Annie? What did they do to her?
I said suspended.
Suspended when?
What do you expect?
When? What did they do? It was when we all started complaining about it.
Have you suspended yours? Have you suspended?
She has been punished
for
her act.
When we come to sit here,
the references you're making.
When we come to sit here, we have discussions.
My point is the references you're making.
We need to look.
How does that not allow us to talk about the party in government?
I didn't say don't talk about the party in government.
So why are you making references
you asked
that
me a
have
question.
happened in the past?
But the person,
and your party has promised a better governance system.
And we showed it.
So we expect that
we showed it.
Whatever happens with the party should be
as we sit here,
far better.
As we sit here, she was talking about Dr. Bawumia's record in health. So now they've moved from His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo out of fear and now attributing everything to Dr. Bawumia. Right. So let's go on that tangent.
Okay, let me take
today.
Let me
take a break. Let me see.
No, you have to land. I only spared you some 2 minutes. So you want to land now?
No, let's go.
Let me take a break. I'll be back shortly.
Dr. Bawumia because Omunyina nimse nibejina hwa Mema Omu showdown.
Ready for something refreshing and great tasting? For your kids' enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
For your graduation enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
Beach hangout?
Angel Cola.
For all your refreshing moments?
Angel Cola.
For your parties, get-togethers, events, and celebrations, enjoy a chilled bottle of Angel Cola. Radio Grandma, today is your day. Over to you.
Thank you. Enjoyment Cola.
Angel Cola.
The Enjoyment Cola. Enjoy all your moments and fun time with Angel Cola. This advert is FDA approved.
Over 18 years in business, Appointed Time Printing Limited has delivered quality service to some of Ghana's well-known brands. With our equipment capacity, we are able to deliver 1,500 pieces of polo and t-shirts in 1 hour. This is only possible with us. For retailers and wholesalers, we offer for sale high-quality polo shirts and t-shirts in different colors at affordable prices. We have a one-stop shop for all creative designs and billboards, 3D signages, flexi banners, car branding, stickers and posters. Locate us at the old GNTC building near Swansea Shopping Arcade, Accra. Contact us on 0501 4541 65, 0501 45 4167. Connect with us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Appointed Time GH. Appointed Time Printing Limited. Our printing is a
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Hello.
Step into success with Accra Business School. Boost your career with our prestigious MSc degrees from KNUST. Pick from Human Resource Management, Communication and International Relations, Public Affairs. In just 12 months, our MBA can be yours. Dive into our BSc programs in IT Security and Cybercrime, IT Management and Business and Management, endorsed by top universities in Ireland and Wales. We offer flexible entry, payment and learning options. It's time to unlock your potential and take flight. Visit www.abs.edu.gh or dial 0263 888 555. Let Accra Business School elevate your future today.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model. Securing your safety. Creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
Inside Black Star Press Limited, grow inside the invective minds, evolving concepts and the creative trends. The printing press you need now. Witness the beauty, diversity and natural wonder with our works. Inside Black Star Press Limited, in association with Lionhead Group of Companies. Call us now on 0200-880-000 for all your print works. Black Star Press Limited, a worldwide reputation for quality printing.
Masanabo, Masanaba. They say, you see, you call cashless. They get cashless here. They say, you can be a wish in your office. You see, the power up or back. And also, another you'll be here. Set up auto credit. Set up auto credit to do our issue. So, what problem be a person using for everything? He answer over power up. So, and one on to us and be up. So, only smartphone and money how. And there's only data and so and it's new every. And one said, who bring your young phone. Oh, sorry. Open your phone. No one direct star 226 hash. You are through there. You see the power app no mobile money, Visa card, Mastercard, a BHP here. You never see BNI. You see the power app. What to show a down some. Ne simple.
My name is John, and this is my long-time crush. My cookie dipped in strawberry yogurt. On this scorching hot afternoon on our way back from a long job hunt, we met this good Samaritan who offered us 6 weeks later.
A special wedding reception for our bride and groom.
And there she is, my cookie, dipped in someone else's yogurt.
Who holds the moolah, calls the shots, play game by games, the easiest lottery to play and win. Big phone numbers from 0 to 9 up to 3 times daily to become one of our daily lucky winners. Dial *946# to play now, or you can also play online at www.gamepackgames.com. Game Park is regulated by the National Lottery Authority.
Dr. Bawumia Sano. Yes, sir. Because Omunina himself, me Bejinawa. Member Omu showdown.
Welcome back to Good Morning Ghana. Well, it's not by mouth, it's not by play. Don't be just a fan of any club in the Ghana Premier League. Come wear your crown of glory and slug it out as fan at Maiden Ghana Premier League Edition GPL of the IMG League Cup, a club fan-based tournament. So whether you are a champion, Phobia, Fabulous Kotoko Olympics, Samatex Hearts of Lions, Tano Bafuaka, or any of other clubs, come and take part in the tournament to usher in the 2023-2024 GPL season. It's happening this Saturday, so you want to join and be a part of it. Also, Black Stars Limited says that it is the latest printing press facility in Ghana with the state-of-art equipment to help grow your business. We help you to invent the beauty, diversity, and natural wonder with your works. Black Star Press is the printing press you need to get all your unique jobs done on time with perfection. Black Star Press is associated with Lionhead Group of Companies with a worldwide reputation of quality printing. Call them now on 0200-880-000 for your orders. At Black Stars Press Limited, we print everything printable except money. All right, so I'll let you land and let's move on. I want us to...
What I was basically saying is that, you see, when you know what you've done, you will definitely have the confidence to tout those achievements. I mean, it hasn't been all rosy. There have been challenges. We're still dealing with them. But even if you take just the digital transformation that Dr. Bawumia is known for, you get it. You may underestimate the Ghana card. You may underestimate Ghana.gov. You may underestimate all the digital processes that are going on in terms of accessibility to services, passports, and all those things. But at least, through all those things, at least we know that childhood cancers. I work with an institution that regulates Ghana Post.
Do you use?
The last time I got a delivery from the UK came through Ghana Post.
Okay. Do you also use
the digital address system?
Digital address system.
It's useful.
Do you use it?
Come again.
Do you use it?
When you are going to do registrations and all other things for government services and all that, what address do they ask for?
No.
They ask
when you are looking for a place.
When I'm looking for
and you log it onto your phone, do you use?
When you do it, it comes.
The Ghana address system to locate.
When you use it, it comes.
Do you?
At least for government offices.
Do you use it?
I use it.
Have you used it before?
I've used it before. I can show you now.
What was the latest place you ever used it?
When I was looking for, which office was that? One of the Ghana Post offices. We're moving on it. I used it. I have the app.
So you Googled, you entered.
Annie,
and you
these
use
things
it
are
as
not,
a direction.
Annie, these things are not far-fetched.
No, I'm not saying it's far-fetched. I'm just saying that did you use it? And it directed you, it took you straight to wherever you were looking for.
That's Ghana GPS. It's just like any other app. So you keep improving it.
So
it's there. You can key
have
in.
you used it?
Key in Metro TV.
Have you used it?
I use it. I have the app on my phone.
What was the last
Annie,
place you sent?
Last
you went
week.
with? Where?
I was looking for the Adenta Post Office. I used it.
So
to go and take my
parcel. It took you there?
Yes, it will take you there. Put it there. Unless you have an experience that doesn't mean it's all perfect and all. But at least you know that now, when you are going for services, you use your GPS address. If for nothing at all, when you come to National Health Insurance, it's working. Now you can sit in your home and renew your cards. Ghana National Health Insurance now covers childhood cancers.
And
you get it. Apart from, you see, when it comes to hospitals and health, education, the infrastructure, every government since we were born have contributed to infrastructure. But the policies you bring, the life-changing policies, you can laugh as much as possible. But if you go to a place like North Gonja, where snake bites are killing people, and you have a drone that delivers anti-snake serum, that is when you know what the digital transformation has done to communities in this country.
Let's move on.
So their fear for Dr. Bawumia shouldn't lead them to think that there's nothing happening in Ghana. The worst thing that can happen to anybody is to wake up someone who is pretending to be sleeping. And Beatrice and our compatriots are pretending to be sleeping. But the people in Ghana, irrespective of the challenges, irrespective of the challenges, know the things that are going. Today, you may sit in Accra and think that the PSHS policy, irrespective of the challenges, is not good. But go to communities, go to my village in Par, go to Bole and other places, and you see the impact that this life-changing, the ambulances that have been provided, you see the change that is making. So when you don't understand some of these policies, you need to embrace yourself.
When economic management,
achievement.
Yes,
mention one achievements of
chair of economic management.
Economic management.
Annie, what builds an economy? What builds an economy?
Mention one achievement.
I will mention the 1D1F policy. I will mention planting for food
as achievement of
jobs.
Dr. Bawumia.
They are moving achievement. Dr. Bawumia is what?
Is the chair of the economic management.
Dr. Bawumia currently is
Vice
what?
President.
Working with who? The President of the Republic of Ghana. But today, we are having this conversation because the NDC is so scared of him.
No, you
have,
even
you when have, we haven't gone
let's
for
come,
elections
let's come
and
back.
making everything
come back on track.
And I will mention one district, one factory. I will mention planting for food and jobs.
Those are his achievements as a
I will mention those ones as policies that will boost the economy if people pretend to be sleeping and we all come together.
Okay, so the Electoral
make
Commission.
them work as they
The,
should.
the Electoral Commission says that it is it is not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's have. We are going to register tomorrow. We need to help people.
Government should not be using future.
No, but you know she won't want. You know she won't be talking. You know she won't be talking. You know she won't be talking about elections.
The economy.
Yeah.
And the mess is even deeper than
over 120
but when you implement a policy, it probably will take some period.
Each of them is employing 10 people.
That's a
short term.
Which of the is it not the same planting for food that donkeys were carrying the fertilizer that the minister told us, or another food planting for food and jobs? The mess is deeper than I thought.
Okay, let's move on. The Electoral Commission says that it is not anticipating. Allow me. So the Electoral Commission says that it's not anticipating any challenges in the decision to undertake the upcoming limited registration exercise at its district offices across the country. The Commission said that it appreciates the concerns about the accessibility of its offices in some remote communities, but it cannot vary its plans due to time constraints, right? Now, the EC has scheduled the registration of new voters onto the electoral roll to commence on September 12, 2023 to October 2, 2023 at the 268 districts of offices across the country. In an interview with the Ghana News Agency, Dr. Bosman Eric Kasare, the deputy chair in charge of corporate services at the EC, said the persons who may not be able to register would be offered another opportunity to do so after the district assembly elections. Currently, because of the time, we cannot revise what we have. We recognize the challenges. Right? And we know there are some places in Nkwanta South are from plains and almost all the regions of our country. Some of the places are so far away from the district. In the unlikely event that some people are not able to register, we will be able to do it again after the district assembly elections, he said. Unquote. Dr. Sari said that the EC's proposed constitutional instrument with which it intends to make the Ghana card the sole identification document for registration will make it possible for the new voters to be enrolled onto the electoral roll for the extended period. So some political parties, including the National Democratic Congress, have raised concerns about the EC's decision to hold a limited registration exercise at its district offices and not within the electoral areas, of which they actually went to court. But the court has really not said anything about the attempt to halt the exercise. Beatrice, what's going to happen? Of course, from the beginning of the program, I played Mr. Mahama, urging voters on to go and register. So the court issue is neither here nor there, I guess.
Not at all. You see, the concern about the current limited registration exercise that the EC seeks to undertake is a concern for a call, not for the Jane Mensah-led EC to kill the democracy we are enjoying. And sometimes, I happen to be an alumni of the University of Ghana Law School. And I can be sure that when it comes to constitutional law, we had some of the best lecturers and brains in the country. So sometimes when I hear that Jane Mensah is a lawyer and actually attended the University of Ghana Law School, I'll be wondering what will be going through the minds of those lecturers. Because in law school, they imbibe, sometimes I even feel that it's a doctrine, imbibe in you the principle of the supremacy of the Constitution. So much so that, irrespective of what is happening, the moment you see that something is against the Constitution, we just say it's now void and of no effect. We don't even look at the prudence or otherwise. The EC, I think that they should stop behaving like MPP foot soldiers. This morning, I heard Bosman on TV3 saying that voting is not compulsory. And so if the EC is registering people in the office, if you like, go and register, if you like, don't. And this is somebody who was...
as a matter of fact, when I was playing the video of the youth organizer, Salam Mustafa, he made a similar comment that if, in fact, he alleged that you, as NDC, were planning to disrupt the exercise. And then he goes on to say that if you don't find it convenient and you think you cannot register, go home and sit down. Which I thought that was quite a harsh comment,
I mean,
to make.
We are in a deeper mess than I thought. And sometimes I even wonder if it's worth it at all. It's the level of denigration, the level that we have sunk. The MPP keeps introducing the new law. Every time we've gone low, it's at the behest of the MPP. You see, Article 42 of the 1992 Constitution says that every citizen who is 18 years and above of sound mind, and the operative word there is that it's entitled to be registered and vote in any public election and public referenda. It means that for the Constitution to say that you are entitled to something, it means you ought to be given that thing at no cost of yours and with the necessary convenience that there are. And so, pursuant to Article 42, we enacted for ourselves the Public Election Regulation, which is the principal CI that governs every election. It further repeats the right of every citizen to be registered, because it is that registration that makes you eligible to vote. And then this right is an inalienable right. And not even J. Mensah, Bosman Asari, and the MPP and its apparatchik can sit in the comfort of their rooms and say that, you know what, we will do it in accordance with how we like. And so if you think that you cannot go to the district offices.
As a lawyer, explain this to me, the Article 42. It says that above, okay, let me read the full thing. Right to vote, right to vote, every citizen of Ghana of 18 years of age or above, of sound mind, has a right to vote and is entitled,
that's what I'm telling
to
you,
be registered
as
a voter for the purpose of public elections and referenda. Does that mean that, you know, even if there's a situation that will bar you from registering, the country or the EC must be held responsible for your inability to register?
What it means is that no situation should bar you from registering. That's what it means. That, give me any scenario. The law says that to the extent that you are entitled, no situation, not distance, not your inability to pick car, not your inability to access the registrations, no sickness, nothing.
Really?
That is why the only qualification is that you must be 18 and above, and you must be of sound mind and a Ghanaian. So, if you qualify for these three, no matter what, you have to have your name on the register. And in fact, it even says that this exercise of getting citizens their entitlement must be done annually. And there is a Supreme Court decision that even says that annually is even far. It should be done almost every time, as long as a citizen wants a card and wants the right to vote, that citizen must have that. So it is the very lifeblood of democracy. The citizen should be given the right to vote. And if you look at the preamble of the Constitution, the powers of the state lies with the people. So they say that we, the people of Ghana, in exercise of our inalienable right. Inalienable means that not any president who appoints his party communicators onto a commission, not an electoral commission whose primary concern is to make the president happy and quick to attend every party organized by the president, should be able to deny any citizen that inalienable right to register and vote. Because you know why? The law contemplated that there will be a time where you will have wicked electoral commissioners who, on the basis of partisan lines, would want to deny citizens from registering. So you know what the law did? The law in CI 91 said that we will not give any electoral commissioner the right to exercise a discretion in a manner that they will abuse it. And so if you look at Regulation 2.2 of CI 91, Regulation 2.1 is to the effect that the EC may designate a place of registration. And you would have thought that the EC then had the right to determine where the registration should be done. But that is not it. Because the law knows that you will have a certain EC who will want to be in bed with a political party and register its faithfuls to the detriment of denying other people. So you know what the law said? The law in Regulation 2.2 said that the Electoral Commissioner, in designing a place as a registration center, shall take, and only the emphasis is shall take, which means that the EC cannot exercise her discretion. She cannot sit in the comfort of her office and say that I will do otherwise. The law says that you shall take the suitability of the place for use as a polling station on election day. Have we ever used the district offices of the EC as a polling station? And Annie, the absurdity of this whole idea is that I come from the Kroger constituency.
And if you can add the B.
I will add the B. I want to talk about the A first. And why the lawmakers, in their sense and in their vision, saw that we should not allow the likes of Jane Mensah to manage the EC the way she wants to do. You see, I come from Nungwa. And in Nungwa, I used to stay at a place called Boade. My place is called Boade, Washing Bay. Within the Nungwa enclave, it's so big that it starts from Okwegono. And this is an urban community in Accra. It starts from Okwegono. You have Adegono. The EC's district office is at a place called Brigade. From my house in Boade to the Brigade place, and you pick 3 different cars. So you pick a taxi from Boade to main Nungwa. Then you pick from Nungwa to Brigade. Then you pick from Brigade to the EC's. There is a taxi station. That one, even Churchill doesn't go. So you have to pick the taxi to
I was
the
going to
EC's.
ask if you can't pick Churchill.
No, from the Brigade to the EC's office, no Churchill passes there. So you have to pick those loading taxis. So even in an urban community, you have to pick 3 cars. Now remember that this limited registration is for people who turn 18, 19, 20, 21. We are being told that under your leadership, Dr. Bawumia, unemployment is at its highest in 40 years.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Please go and read the president's statement and your budget.
That's
if they lie, you
That's
point it out to them. Unemployment is at its highest in 40 years.
Beatrice.
The parents of these children have experienced haircuts under your government. Is that one too a lie? The parents of these people have lost their jobs if they were ever working at the banking sector. So where would they get money to pay 3 taxis in an urban community? My old friend Pedro and Jerome's hometown, Sefirioso, I used to do a case there. From Pedro's hometown, Buako, to Sefirioso, you will not even get a church roll. The same constituency. From one end to another, you will not even get a church roll to pick.
Why?
Like, because it is like the way they do. Either you are going to the district capital, which is Sefirioso, you will have to find a way to, you know how these rural communities live. So it is a big issue. And in these discussions, we've never had this kind of limited registration. What is the NPP government afraid of? The second provision is that the EC, in designing a place, must examine the accessibility of the place to prospective applicants for the registration. Jane Mensah is guarded by 20 military officers. She probably has not stayed in Sefirioso. She probably has not gone to parts. Recently I was in the north From my hotel to the market, I said I wanted to go and wash things in the market. I was told that
the north is not a
I
place
was in Tamale.
specific.
And I said I wanted a taxi. The woman said, oh, you will stand here for long unless you pick Pragia. When I picked the Pragia, some short distance view, 10 cedis. I was even telling the guy that, why are you taking 10 cedis? Just here and here. He said, yes, because she was the only one sitting in it.
Hey.
10 cedis. So look at how people will have to spend between, some of them even will want to go to their hometowns and register and what have you. This simply does not make sense. But you know why they are doing this? You see, in Asin North, how do you call the man? The director, Shribo, when the NDC won the election, he was so traumatized that he couldn't announce the election. He couldn't announce that NDC 54,000. He couldn't. So it was the district officer who came to announce. You could practically see from the strong room his legs. He wasn't happy. I'm telling you, because you know why? In Kumewu,
I was at the collation center.
He announced it.
Okay.
He himself announced it. In the recent internal primaries of the MPP, he announced it. Why didn't he announce in Asin North and made the, because they are more terrified about the victory of the NDC that is coming. So you know their calculation. Because we know that majority of the NDC votes are from the rural communities. Let us make it this way. Let us make it this way so that the number of people who can register will be limited. But you see, I want to tell the young people of this country. But how will you know
if that limitation
because why else
will affect either the NPP or the NDC?
If you're a leader of a country, you must know your country. And to know your country, you must have sometimes, to an extent, lived the experiences of your people. The president has not lived the experiences. The last time he attempted wearing kambu and going to filling stations and lorry stations to be president, look at where it landed us. Because if the president, if the Electoral Commission, and if everybody understood the dynamics of Ghana and how this country is, nobody in their right senses would do what this Electoral Commissioner is doing, because the only reason is that they want to suppress the vote. You are a media person. Go onto every media channel on a morning show and go and look at the sentiments of young people in this country. Join the Twitter spaces of young people. Sit in the buses with young people and see the frustration of young people and the many people who have moved from glory to nothing in this country under this government. So the government thinks that by suppressing votes, of course the EC in cahoots with the government, thinks that by suppressing votes they'll be victorious. But I want to tell every young person in this country that even if the EC is empowered, that not even the judiciary will punish them, not the executive will have an issue with them. Because you see, in all these, CPP is complaining, GCPP is complaining, APC is complaining, LPG, all the political parties that hitherto would attend IPAC and agree with the MPP and even the EC. Now they are all complaining about this. Kodio has come out to condemn it. Care Ghana, the Ballots Education Ghana, a lot of many think tanks and organizations that understand elections are saying that in Ghana's democracy, we haven't done this before. And to the extent that even the Constitution and CI 91 even frowns on the manner in which the EC is undertaking this exercise. It's a very dangerous exercise. But let me say that young people should not be perturbed. Young people should build resilience and they should build tenacity. And wherever you are, look for the EC registration center without prejudice to the matter in the court and register. Don't let anybody, suppress you, because you see, sometimes the difficulty is that there's a also example I gave. You leave Wako and you get to Yoso. when you are registering, you don't finish registration because of the long queue you came to meet. Annie, you leave your 18-year-old girl to leave a town like Boakon to come to Sefirioso to register. She doesn't finish. Where will she sleep the next day before she continues the registration? Has the EC thought about that? That is the absurdity in this. But do not let your resolve be broken, because they can only but do this for a time. When all of us register, when all of us come together, when all of us agree that enough is enough, when all of us agree that we cannot continue to live in the country where ministers stash millions of dollars, but for house helps who are distributing the national cake, many people will not have access to the national cake.
So now we are encouraging people,
yes,
to do the registration.
We are encouraging
amidst
people
the challenges that have
in the hope
enumerated, which the EC has also admitted.
In the hope that good conscience will prevail, in the hope that at least there will be a listening ear.
But you see, but the reality is that with the example you cited, if people don't have the means to move,
I agree
no
with
matter
you.
how loud you shout on TV, they
I agree with you, and that is the challenge. I agree with you, but the MPP thinks that they have so much money, they have resources, so they will just send money. You heard Hobson Adoye saying that they were sharing $5,000. Many of their party people, their former general secretary, no mean a person, saying that they were sharing money at their delegates conference. We are being told that they will share 5,000 at the November 4th conference. So they think that they are in power. Oh, so it will get there. We'll see whether it's right. Maybe now that Alan has gone there, it will go to 2,000. But you see, you are seeing a group of people who feel that money is everything there is. You are seeing a group of people who think that by having access to state resources, they can undermine everybody, including our inalienable rights. And no electoral commissioner from Afarijan, as we can remember, to Charlotte say, to even 2020 election, when the EC did a limited registration exercise in 2019, we didn't see this. So why now? Why? Is it the case that, having picked up the sentiment that many first-time voters are inclined to vote for President John Mahama, are inclined to vote for the NDC, so let's suppress the vote? Because we have resources, let's organize our people to get to the centers, and then they register, and all other people can take, can do and be on their own. I want to tell the MPP that the power of the people is greater than the people in power. And it is only but for a limited time that they will have access to some of these unconscionable acts in cahoots. And you see, when you say, someone will say, oh, it is just the EC doing this, it is not the government. You know why it is not just the EC? The Electoral Commission that met to make this decision, half of them are made up of party communicators of the MPP. At least we can mention Etuahene. Half of them are made up of party communicators who were once sitting on radio, like I'm sitting here. You can imagine me as an EC. Will I do anything to the detriment of the NDC? It is the reason why sometimes we say that written laws alone are not enough, and that good conscience, good judgment should guide people in leadership. Here, there is absence of good conscience. There is absence of good conscience, and also there is a flagrant breaches of the law. Where does this happen? This is how democracies die.
But according to the MPP, if you Beatrice, as you sit here communicating for the NDC, if you qualify to work at the EC,
that's the poverty of reasoning.
You can be.
That's the level of. I tell you, anytime there is a new law in our politics, it's the MPP who has introduced it. That's the poverty of reasoning. That it matters more. So the extent that Beatrice is a lawyer, she's 21 years and above.
She's an IT expert.
You don't even need to be an IT expert. In this case, so far as you qualify, you can be. That's the poverty of reasoning.
So, well, there was a report that was put out by Osei Kwame Griffiths, who actually is a former executive secretary for NIA. And he wrote the reports on our limited registration. So if you saw the document on the screen, okay, so that's the document. It's just this is an excerpt of the about 8 pages report. and it's giving us a breakdown of how limited registration exercise has happened over the years, from Kojo Afari-Gyan's period to Jean Mensah's period. And you've seen, if you check the period and the days and maybe the centers, you see that as it comes down, we continue to reduce the numbers. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Is it creating more problems or is making our work easier? You know, I mean, I'm not giving any judgment on that, but that's how it looks like. So if you look at, for example, Afari-Gyan's time within 2012, we had 40 days of registration. The centers were about 6,000, and we projected about 14 million people. We have above 13 million ability to register. So we made about 98% of the record, whatever projection that we had. If you jump from Afari-Gyan has about 2 slots there. Let's jump to Charlotte Osei. In 2016, she had limited registration, centers of 6,000, same as Afari-Gyan in 2012. You had projected, she projected 1.2. Yeah, 1.2, and then she made 1.69. She made 89.11% of the projection. If you jump to Jean Mensah in 2018, from 2016 to 2018, the centers that we set up was 47 for limited registration, and the projection was 100,000 persons. The actual was 47,811, and the success rate was 47.81%. So you see the reduction of the percentage is probably what the data you can use.
And look at the last one.
Yes, the last one is, okay, Jean Mensah as well, 2019.
When it was increased to 1,950.
Yes.
Look at the percentage.
So the centers was increased from 47 to 1,950. And projection was, we had a first projection of 3 million, and then 500,000, and then 700,000. We made 1,200.
We made 1.2
million. 1.2 million people.
Yes.
And then the success rates, the first one was 400%. Yeah. And then the second one was 240. Third one was 171.
So the data clearly even suggests that anytime there is an increase in the registration center, it corresponds with a direct increase in the number of people. And anytime you suppress, people don't...
A better trend analysis. Look at it very well.
Yes, look at it. It's on the screen. Project it for us to see.
Okay. Annie, I think if you had shared this report with us earlier, it would have been easy to make a lot of sense out of it. It's difficult to pick out the trend clearly, but be as it may. See, when we sit here to talk about issues to do with our nation, we also need to be careful. I was thinking that when Beatrice went on and on about the EC and running down the EC personnel and all that, I was waiting for her as a lawyer to cite one regulation or one law that they had breached.
You didn't hear the CI?
I didn't hear the ones that they breached.
The CI.
You get it. But no.
You didn't hear the CI, you don't accept.
No. You get it. The fact that you're entitled to something, right, Annie, rights come with responsibilities. And this is not to rationalize the choice of centers, the choice of centers that the EC has decided to deal with. That's the EC's, how they choose to operationalize their mandate. I'm not rationalizing what went in, because I don't know what went into the selection and the decision of them using district officers. But a right comes with responsibilities. Annie, as we sit here, we have the right to security and health. Right. But that doesn't mean that when we are not feeling well, we sit in our houses and wait for health.
How do you interpret this? You're not a lawyer, but I'm sorry. It says that. It says that the 2-2.
Yes, please.
So the commission, 2B, Let me read from 2. In the designating, yes,
91?
yes, in designating a place as registration center, the Commission shall take into consideration B, the accessibility of the place to prospective applicants for registration.
They have 268 offices across the country. Do we know for a fact, since this issue came up, since they started advertising and educating citizens on the registration process and replacements of cards and even the announcing the district level election, have you spoken to any official from the EC to understand the thinking that went into the selection of the district officers as a media house?
But I read the EC's comments, which clearly states that they all accept the challenges that have been made bare. But for the sake of time, you heard me read.
Yes.
He said, but for the sake of time, they can't make changes to the arrangement that's been made.
And also,
it means that
they also went further to say that this is not the only limited registration.
Yes.
You know, the election, before every election, every general election, there's a window that is open for limited registration. So same will be done in 2024. But also, the EC also put up an amendment for CI 91 before Parliament, which has been opposed strongly by our competitors. So they haven't even had a headway to what was that supposed to do. Look at the guarantor system and the ID system, because apparently for the 2020 register, they had to expunge about 15,000 foreigners and minors and all that. So when they're also taking their decisions, they are time-bound and all that. But for me, it's not to justify their choice of things, but for a lawyer to make it seem, after having the audacity to question the legal professionalism or the fact that the Electoral Commissioner is a lawyer. And I think we need to be careful with some of these things. We don't sit down here and personalize some of these issues. If for nothing at all, we know that you lawyers really value the seniority in your thing. So if you sit down and you say you are wondering and to think that she went to the University of Ghana Law School, now that's unfortunate. And statements like that shouldn't be coming. There's an issue at hand. Parties have an issue with the fact that the EC is going to use the district, their district office, their 268 district offices as points where people can go for limited registration. There are challenges to that, but I also look at the time constraints and all that. Fair enough. But Annie, elections, with what we've all come to understand, no Electoral Commission, no matter how it's set up, wins an election for any party. Elections are won at the polling station. I was just hoping that in all the things that Beatrice espoused on behalf of the NDC, they would have also come out to admit that they've been terrible at collating their results. And that has nothing to do with who votes or who doesn't vote, or who registers or who doesn't register. Elections are determined. Elections are determined by who shows up at the polling center on an election day. Elections are not won from the Electoral Commission. Elections are not won from the Electoral Commission strong room. Elections are won by the strategies you put together. For you to come and sit here and make how would they win the election? No, you are not addressing. Beatrice, let's be civil. You said a lot of unnecessary and irrelevant things. I let it be. If you address it, give me my space. I'll keep quiet. You sit here and try to run the President of the Republic down by virtue of a decision that Electoral Commission has taken. That shows you don't even understand the electoral process. Does the President of the Republic sit at IPAC?
He appoints the electoral.
Does the electoral
He appoints the electoral
so
commission.
then it is okay to believe that when Madame Charlotte Mensah, Charlotte was
a cardinal member of the NDC.
Was easy. Those meetings that were alleged to be having with the General Secretary of the NDC. But I won't go on that tangent. We have a district level election.
God give me a big heart.
EC wants to do limited registration. There are issues with where we are. I've seen MPs from the NDC side advertising and encouraging the electorates who were not able to register before, who have just turned 18 now, voting age, and people that by virtue of circumstances beyond their control, they couldn't register during the last registration window to go and register. This is how we should approach it.
Okay.
All that we are interested in is a credible register devoid of minors and illegal persons in it.
Okay.
How the EC decides to go about it is something we can all judge and make it better. But not to stand as if the EC
what is your contribution to making it better?
Country and all that.
Loretta, what have you said to make it better?
We can keep giving suggestions and all that. And the EC has come out to say what their challenges are and all that.
Okay.
As parties and as institutions in the same business, what do we do to make it better?
Okay.
That is the conversation. But I think that at this point, they should take that phobia they have for Electoral Commission based on the things
how
they
Loretta
did in
is
the past.
struggling.
Because most of the times when people are shouting about things, it's their own shadows chasing.
Loretta, you don't need to defend the issue. You don't need to defend the issue.
So let me just point you that the registration, the limited registration exercise will start tomorrow. So if you can make time, if you have turned the age 18, turn to age 18, please make time and find the district offices and go and register.
Those who lost their cards,
they can also
to re-register.
So
you can go and get a replacement of your card at a fee of 10 cedis.
Oh,
so
wow!
We need to make that clear because so that people who've lost their cards don't go registering and end up being disenfranchised because of double registration. Yes.
We'll be back shortly.
My son, there's more blessing in giving than receiving. When you fear for you and cover the makers in
The pneumatological aberration of the Lord revealed unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. Up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. Edike Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafubuachi Hospital Junction. Takradi. Number 9 Market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program
from 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply.
For over 20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatments like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go Amen.
We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific, Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi. God is the healer.
Back. Let's do strengths. I've seen a lot of your messages, lots of them. Apologies. Okay, apologies. It's just a lot. You're welcome, Harry.
Thank you very much. As it's not time for trends, so let's just go straight to the Good Morning Ghana comments, and then we'll go to that one. So this one from Sam Kojo. He says that they have destroyed the fortunes of Ghana, depleted the coffers, and are trying to avoid accountability. Okay, so that one is from Sam Kojo. Juliana Belinda Obri also says, NDC leaders do everything in your power and support whoever need to go and register. Okay, Chris Akofi says it retains to the core when the NDC exaggerates the violence at the NPP elections. Didn't they beat people during their youth elections with the police arresting some of the culprits? Okay, Chris Akofi. Christina Akusi also says that after Charlotte to say there has not been any procurement breaches under Nana Ado. Annie, she's asking you. So this one from Nasir Mohammed says, Beatrice will give you back-to-back facts. Ha 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 ha. Okay. And this one says, I'm tired of Laura 2 explanation. Mawulaya Salifu. Alex Kudono says she was merely dancing with words, indulging the crust of the lawlessness of her party, the NPP. I'm sure he's talking about Laura too. Okay, so this one says that they have destroyed the fortune. Okay, so that is for the Good Morning Ghana comments. There were lots, like some of them they are just so.
Some PL has given us some education. Let me read it. He says that if a person has a right, the only impediment to that right will be when the person himself elects not to exercise that right. But that right cannot be taken away from the person by the regulations restricting the exercise of that right.
Okay. Interesting. And John Dramani Mahama is also trending, I mean, for his comments about the reduction of the wages of cocoa farmers and a lot more. So let's pick this one. This one from Metro TV says that Amaleba Bawumia is no match for the NDC. Bawumia, I will give the NDC a showdown in their own stronghold. That's why they fear me. Who do you think is favorite to win in the Bawumia Mahama election? But wait, who says Bawumia? I mean, they might elect Kennedy upon, so it might not be Bawumia
is already speaking as if he won.
Exactly. The only place Dr. Bawumia is likely to give Mahama a showdown is on the endemic NPP fanatical grounds. Unfortunately for him, most Ghanaians are now discerning, including his party sympathizers. Isn't he ashamed enough after his shambolic records with respects to the economy? Okay, let's take more comments. In 2016, President John Mahama, in addition to the free fertilizer and free cocoa seedlings program, gave cocoa farmers 66.6% of the FOB price of cocoa. Today, the free fertilizer and cocoa seedling program has been scrapped with increasing operational costs to farmers. Okay. And this one says, facts over lies. John Dramani Mahama registers his displeasure on the drastic reduction in the wages of cocoa farmers. I will vote for John Dramani Mahama. That is the hashtag with that. Mr. Phil comes in with that one. And this one also says, from Richie Charger, well, Mahama didn't call Pastor to go pray at the Akosombo Dam when Doomsor was happening. He set out to find the solution, but we are still calling him names up to today. Okay, I think if the current government did what they promised to do, Mahama would have been forgotten. But because this government is worse, it's better we bring him back. Dowd_GH says this one. I mean, I think we'll take a last one. And then Mahama borrowed $200 million to build 5,000 housing units, which is actually worth $64 million. He supervised the completion of only 668 units of the 5,000 and couldn't account for the rest of the money. Today, his favorite to become the next president of Ghana. Okay, interesting. Interesting over there. And lastly, let me end with Stonebwoy. He did a live performance at the Grammys, recording for the Academy, and it's been trending. A lot of people are happy with that performance. If we have enough time, we can play the video. If not, let's take some comments.
Well, as you wait for your comment, Mansa Musa says that I don't understand this nation at all. We give hundreds of millions of dollars to EC to organize elections and still place the responsibility of getting election results right on political parties. I don't get it. Mansa Musa from UK. Thank you for those messages.
Okay, since we are not getting a video, I think I'll end it. But I'll bring you that.
Brian thinks that today I seem to be reluctant to engage in mathematical calculations. Brian, I'm always ready for mathematical calculations.
Okay, so for the Stonebwoy video, I'll bring you more on Newsbeat Entertainment News.
Right.
But before we go,
that's it?
Okay. Oh,
is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Well, I'll bring you a lengthy version of that on Entertainment News on Newsbeat this afternoon. But Annie, before we go, this one is to Mr. Emmanuel Atigbo. And it says that, happy birthday to my lovely dad, Mr. Emmanuel Atigbo. I easily look up to you because of all the things I've seen you accomplish. You are a great mentor to me. It is my prayer that the good Lord continues to bless you in all that you do. From your daughter, Esenam. Oh, it's beautiful.
Next time, I won't read the essays of happy birthday wishes on the show. Next time, prompt me, else I won't let you.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, so I apologize for all those who I couldn't read your messages. I think I was just pressed with time. Some of you were writing theses. I've told you to stop writing theses. Okay. All right. Anyway, thank you. Harry, thank you. And welcome to another week. We're back tomorrow with Good Morning Ghana. Thanks for watching.